Now, we couldn't do justice to this topic without addressing what is probably one of the most famous quotes on the subject, and it comes from John Adams. He said, "Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." Now, I used to scratch my head over this one and wonder why that was the case. What specifically about the Constitution makes it so that it only works for religious people? And if they knew that, if the founding fathers knew that that was the case, why couldn't they have made it work and make it functional, even if people were to start moving away from faith and moving away from religion? And that had puzzled me for a lot of years until I came across a quote from Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson that really gave me the piece of the puzzle that I was missing. Benjamin Franklin said, "Only a virtuous people are capable of freedom. As nations become corrupt and vicious, they have need of more masters." Now, he uses the word virtuous, but it's important to point out that that word in his day, if we go to the 1828 Noah Webster Dictionary, means being morally good and conforming to moral law. It means being obedient and in conformance to moral and divine law. It also has to do with chastity and all these other things that we kind of think about today too. But obedience to divine law is part and parcel with being virtuous. So that would have been implicit in that statement. And then moving on to what is probably my number one absolute favorite quote by Thomas Jefferson. He said, "The precepts of philosophy and of the Hebrew code lay hold of actions only. He, Jesus, pushed his scrutinies into the heart of man, erected his tribunal in the region of thoughts, and purified the waters at the fountainhead." Now, to kind of drive home what he's talking about here, we have to go to Matthew chapter 5. This is where Christ is giving the Sermon on the Mount. He says, "Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart." So when Thomas Jefferson is talking about how Christ pushed scrutinies into the heart of man and purified the waters at the fountainhead, he's talking about this part from Matthew 5. It's not just don't kill, but don't even get angry. And it's not enough just to not commit adultery, but don't even look on a woman to lust after her. Don't even have impure thoughts. So what John Adams, what Thomas Jefferson, and what Benjamin Franklin are saying is that the Constitution was designed to maximize freedom, but it's only possible if people are governing themselves by striving with everything they've got to live righteous, virtuous lives. And Jefferson thought that the Christian faith was best for a free society because it inspires people to govern and bridle their hearts, their thoughts, and their feelings, not just their actions. Now, imagine how powerful that really is. If you have an entire population that is trying as best as they can to not even get angry, how many murders are there? How many violent crimes would there be? Also, if that same entire population, that same country is desperately trying not to have unclean, adulterous thoughts, imagine how few homes would be broken if they were all doing their best to control these thoughts. Pedophilia, rape, incest, infidelity, divorce, human trafficking, the plague of pornography, virtually gone. Adams, Franklin, and Jefferson are not saying that the Constitution is weak because it only works if you're religion. It wasn't a half measure that, we kind of settled on this. We kind of settled on a lesser constitution because it only works for religious people. They're saying that freedom without faith in God and religion is simply impossible because the result is a people who become increasingly depraved and need more masters. They need more oversight. They need more laws. They need more police to police them and make sure that they're not hurting themselves and hurting other people because they're not doing that themselves. There is no fear of eternal consequence for their actions if you don't have that religious background. Now, this is concerning to me because I hear a whole lot today And there's a large movement to try and re-enthrone constitutional government. We talk about the need to get back to constitutional principles and to shun Marxist philosophies. And I agree 100% with that. But getting back to the maximum freedom found in the Constitution as it was originally intended to be is not possible without also returning and re-enthroning God in our society. And the scriptures back up what John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, and Thomas Jefferson are saying. Doctrine and Covenants 101, verse 77 and 80 say, according to the laws and constitution of the people, which I, God, have suffered to be established and should be maintained, for the rights and protection of all flesh, according to just and holy principles. And for this purpose have I established the constitution of this land by the hands of wise men whom I raised up unto this very purpose and redeemed the land by the shedding of blood. First Nephi chapter 13, verse 19 says, and I, Nephi, beheld that the Gentiles that had gone out of captivity were delivered by the power of God out of the hands of all other nations. God was in the American Revolution. Ether chapter 2 verse 12 says, behold, this, talking about the American continent, is a choice land, and whatsoever nation shall possess it shall be free from bondage and from captivity and from all other nations under heaven, if they will but serve the God of the land, who is Jesus Christ. 2 Nephi chapter 1 verse 7, wherefore this land is consecrated unto him whom he shall bring. And if it so be that they shall serve him according to the commandments which he hath given, it shall be a land of liberty unto them. Wherefore they shall never be brought down into captivity. If so, it shall be because of iniquity. For if iniquity shall abound, cursed shall be the land for their sakes, but unto the righteous it shall be blessed forever. If they're righteous, they'll be blessed with liberty. If not, captivity is the only option, because they will not be able to govern themselves.